Hey guys, it's Julia, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 underrated YA books on BookTube. So obviously these are just my opinions. These are books that I really liked that I feel like weren't talked about as much on BookTube, and this is pertaining obviously to channels that I watch. There could be channels that talked about these books more that I haven't seen, but from my perspective, these books I feel like should have a little bit more hype around them. The first book is My Name is Memory by Brashares, and I'm sure that you guys have heard me talk about this book before. It is one that I absolutely adored, but I haven't ever actually seen anybody else talk about this. This one is about this guy who gets reborn every time he dies, and every time he ends up finding the same soul in a different body, obviously. It is the love of his life, but they always end up not being able to be together. She never remembers their past lives together, so he's always trying to make her fall in love with him again. And I just really enjoyed this story. I haven't read it for a really long time, but I remember really wanting a sequel out of this because it leaves off on a cliffhanger, and there hasn't been a sequel for it yet, and I read this about 5 years ago, so I don't believe that she is going to come out with a sequel, but I would be really happy if she did. I haven't seen this on BookTube at all, so I believe people should read this book because it's awesome. Read it. The next book is Littered by Aprilynn Pike. This one, I really enjoyed this. I saw the cover for this book and was like, yes, I need to have this. And it's actually about a girl who is in this kind of Victorian society, but it's in the future. Inside the palace, everybody is this upper class, Victorian style, high technology society, and outside of the palace, they don't have much technology. They dress, like normal. She wants out of this society, but she's actually engaged to the king, who is this very abusive, awful man that her mom pretty much pushed her into marrying. She wants out. She wants to get out of this society. She wants to run away. So she's trying to raise money so she can escape marrying this awful king. She starts selling this drug called glitter. She actually comes up with this idea to mix it into makeup and then start selling it. And people get addicted to the makeup that she's selling, and they just buy tons of it. This book was really good, and this is going to be a duology, I believe. The second one, I'm not sure when it comes out, but I really love this book, and this was another one that I just really haven't seen a whole lot of on BookTube, so I'm very surprised because I really thought the idea of this story was really unique, and I really liked the way that the story was executed. So next is Queen of Hearts by Colleen. I've seen this a little bit on BookTube, but not as much as I think that it should be. I feel like there definitely needs to be more hype around this book. It was a really good read, and it is a Queen of Hearts retelling. I just really liked the way that Colleen Oakes executed this book and really took a story that's already been told and really gave it a new spin. I mean, it's really not like any of the Queen of Hearts retellings I've ever read before, so I really enjoyed it a lot, and I like how she took characters that have been in Alice in Wonderland and Queen of Hearts books and twisted them around to be something completely different. I really enjoyed this, and again, I have seen this a little bit on BookTube, but not as much as I think that I should. Next is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. This one is a sci-fi about a being that was made called a Diabolic, who's not human, but she's made to protect her master. Sidonia, the master of Nemesis. Nemesis is Sidonia's Diabolic, and she was made to protect Sidonia. One day, Sidonia's dad gets in trouble for trying to further education, because in this world, they're not supposed to further education or really look into scientific things. Sidonia's parents get told that the government wants to bring Sidonia to the government headquarters of sorts. Instead of sending Sidonia, her parents send Nemesis, the Diabolic, posing as Sidonia. It is just this really cool sci-fi-like story. There's a romance in it that I really enjoyed as well. I have seen this a couple times, but I really haven't seen it that much, and I thought that it would be a lot bigger than it ended up being, and it is a singleton. It's just one book. The last book I'm going to talk about is Reign of Shadow by Sophie Jordan, and this one, whenever I was about to read this book, I went on Goodreads and I read the reviews on it, and I was really surprised to find out that there were a lot of really bad reviews, and I almost didn't read this book, but I'm glad that I didn't actually listen to the reviews. I went ahead and read it because it's kind of like a Rapunzel retelling, and I'm a big fan of Rapunzel, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and read it, just see if all these things are right. And I really had to disagree with the bad reviews on Goodreads because I really enjoyed this story, and I do feel like there should be bigger hype. I loved that the main character was disabled. She was actually blind, but she was still a badass, and I really liked that aspect of the story. There is another book that just came out a couple months ago called Rides of Fire that I have not read yet, but I am planning on reading soon. Yeah, I just think that this book really should have been bigger than it was. I feel like all of these books deserve more hype than they have gotten. There are some that I really enjoyed, and so I hope that if you guys haven't read these books that you will think about picking them up if the story sounds interesting to you, even though you haven't seen it a lot on BookTube, because I'm telling you, these books are worth the read. So that is it for today's video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!